there's a news story going around about a little boy. There's not really I was going to pull the article up, but there's not really much to show as far as pictures or anything. But little 8-year-old kid got lost in the wilderness up in the UP.
Porcupine Mountains.
Yeah, the Porcupine Mountains, and
I believe he's out there overnight, right?
He was. Yep. He slept underneath a log, I guess. They said, or he said. I guess they found him there sleeping underneath a log.
Yeah,
But
I expected the worst, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it did not sound good that he didn't find a way out of there sometime during the night. Didn't go to the sound of traffic or a light in the distance or something to find his way out. I was really worried about the outcome. I was glad to see a positive outcome. Somebody sent me pictures and said they found him, and it was pictures of somebody carrying him out on his back, and that was good to see.
Yeah, they looked like he strapped him to a frame pack of a backpack, and he was just riding on his back going out of there.
Yeah,
that kid will have a good story.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as he comes out unscathed, and maybe he was a little hungry or scared or whatever, at least he'll have an adventure.
That's right. What life's about.
The things that scare you or that you fear, or the things that hurt you that don't kill you, are the things that give you your character. They're actually good for you. It's good to have some struggles in your life. That's what makes a man.
Right. I mean, they said it got down to like in the 40s at night, so he was probably chilly.
Yeah.
Probably chilly and scared. But I don't know. Good for him. I mean, good for him for he probably was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, but just going out and making it didn't end up real well, but like going out and having a little adventure and all that.
I got to give the kid a little credit, because most of your kids nowadays wouldn't even get lost because they wouldn't leave their living room.
Well, yeah, they would have been on. Most kids have been stuck at camp on their iPad or something, playing some.
Most kids
video game.
When they're 40 years old now, are still in the basement.
Yeah,
from playing Monopoly. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as he's back safe in bed at some point in time, it's all good. I'm sure his parents were pretty aggravated or pretty distraught there for a while. I can't imagine. I was a little bit. I mean, I guess I don't know much about like a search and rescue thing, or the standard procedures for search and rescue, but I know that the search and rescue team told everybody that was like volunteering to come out to help look for the kid, like to not come, which I thought that was kind of like, I would assume like the best way to find somebody is just like as many people as you can to look for them.
Well, it depends. Nowadays they can be using infrared. They can be using the same technology we were talking about the other day to find deer.
Yeah.
Right. They can be using stuff like that. And if you get, 1,000 people in the woods, how do you use it?
Yeah.
So I know I was involved in a search and rescue for a coworker. I went to work, and he has a kid that has autism, and it's pretty bad. The kid can't speak right, and will often have emotional issues, just run off, and they can't find him. And I got to work, and it came on the news, and I noticed he wasn't at work, and then I heard on the news that his kid was lost and was in the woods overnight in Waukesha, but Waukesha isn't like wilderness, but it's a wooded area, farm area and stuff, but the kid wouldn't go near anybody, run for people and stuff. So I didn't even think twice. I just said, we need to go, find this kid. And I just said, to a bunch of people who wants to go, and pretty much everybody just shut down all the machines, and we all went out there. And when we got there, they wouldn't let us just go off looking for him, which is what I wanted to do, because I had a pretty good idea how a kid would go through there and stuff. I always use that mental game, but they didn't want to do it in that fashion. They wanted to do sweeps. So they wanted people in a line where you could see each person and sweep a woods, and then you sweep this area, then you sweep that area. And they did that, and they eventually found him doing the sweeps. It was fine. You just spent the night in the woods.
Yeah. I know whenever we used to have my grandparents lived here or whatever, my little cousin, or she's my older cousin, but when she was little, Amber, she got lost in my grandpa's cornfield back here. She wandered off into the middle of the cornfield and then, she just sat down, I guess, somewhere and didn't got scared and didn't say anything. And they had to go find her. Is before my time, but I know that's a story I've heard from my family that she got lost in the cornfield once. But man, that'd be scary as a parent, not that, you're going to eventually find her, but just still being lost, it's like, dang.
You just hear too many bad stories when it's overnight. That's what worried me about this. And about my friend's kid. I really had some bad feelings because they're right alongside the Fox River, and that kid would just run right into a river or something. I mean, he just ain't right. I don't mean that in a bad way. He just isn't.
Sure.
And, I didn't think anything good would come out of that. Mm-hmm. I thought we were really kind of looking for a body. And when they found a kid alive, I was very happy.
Yeah. Well, you never know anymore, Dan. You hear about kids getting abducted and taken into, this horrible situations and everything else. So
especially if somebody mentally ain't right. I mean, somebody's going to take advantage. Those are the types of people they prey on.
It's kind of a shame because like Huck, he's 3 going on 4 now. And like, he is absolutely wants to be outside all the time, and I want him to be outside playing and being independent and then like, and I need to, you want to let him go and do his own thing and figure things out on his own. But then it's like, at the same time, it's like some, pervert or something could be driving down the road and see him out there playing. And if it's like, I have to figure, I always have to have an eye on him.
That's the discussion that we had the other day. When a parent was telling me that I shouldn't talk about hunting in front of their child because they don't tell them where meat comes from and they don't tell them about hunting, and they're better off not knowing that stuff. Yeah. And these parents don't tell their, I struggle with this with my son, James. He doesn't want to tell his daughter about evil in this world. Like if you say something about something happening, you can't say it in front of her. You can't say anything about a car accident. Oh, we don't talk about bad things in front of her. You have to. Yeah. You like it or not, like Huck, he needs to know that you just don't run up to everybody you see and they're going to give you a hug and hand you a lollipop. Yeah. He needs to understand that there's bad people in the world. He's got to understand parents are good, but not everybody is. And people need to have those discussions. And I think that a lot of people nowadays live in fruity tooty land and they don't have those conversations with their kids or in front of their kids. I can remember when I'd go out when I was a little kid, my mom saying, there's some guy who's been grabbing kids with a van. It's been on the news. You watch where you go. You see a van coming up to you, pulling up, you run. And she scared the crap out of me, but she needed to. You know what I mean? Right. If something did happen, at least I was prepared for it, and I wouldn't just hop in the van.
Yeah, he has a little like back here, which I can't see him. He has there's like a drainage spout where it creates a mud puddle right there, and he loves to go and play in there with his tractors and his trucks in that mud puddle, and I can't see him. And I always just tell him like, look, buddy, if someone ever drives down that driveway, you run back here to Dad's office and come and get him. Don't go to him. I don't care who it is. If you think it's Mimi or Papa or anybody, just you come and get me first.
As bad as it sounds, times are different.
Yeah,
I can remember being like 8 or 9 years old. My dad showing me where the guns were kept if anything happened while he wasn't home. Like if I needed to use those guns to defend the house, literally at 9 or 10. You think about that nowadays, they'd put a parent in jail for that. Yeah. But a lot of parents were like that when I was a kid. That's the way it was. And nobody went, and no kids, all the kids had access to guns. Nobody was out shooting each other.
Right.
You had a respect for the gun.
Yep.
So that the guns aren't really the problem. It's the way people are being raised and the kids are being brainwashed into who they are and stuff now that's causing the issues.
Yeah. I was thinking about this a lot the other day. I made that little video about what Scott Cronin was doing with the kids, teaching them high schoolers how to shoot guns and handle guns and everything. And like, dude, that's the difference. It's like people that have never like held a gun and like fired it, they don't understand what the meaning of a gun is and how powerful it can be and how much you need to respect it and have an understanding of it. It's like
Right.
you're doing something very permanent whenever you use that gun, and having a detailed understanding of them is, I think it changes your perspective of them, compared to some kid that just grabs one and takes it into, I don't know. I think it helps at least. If you want to watch another video, click right here. But don't forget to subscribe before you leave.